Saints. This is Fox 8 Sports with Rob Ennis.
The enemy has arrived. Brett Favre and the Vikings checked into their team hotel this evening, a day before they battle the Saints for the NFC Championship. It's a long way from Minnesota, where the Vikings were perfect 8-0 during the regular season, the only team in the NFC to go undefeated at home. But this game is not home in the Metrodome. Of course, it's in the Superdome. The Vikings have struggled on the road, lost all 3 of their road games in December, finished 4-4 away from Minnesota. They expect a hostile environment tomorrow night. You know the Hoodats will be jazzed up. It's only the biggest game in Saints history, a game these passionate fans have been waiting for a long time.
This city having gone through what it's gone through, and this organization having gone through what it's gone through here over the past 5-6 years, before Katrina and then post-Katrina, has allowed us to have the opportunity that we have now. It's hardened us a little bit. It's given us an edge, but certainly in the end, I think it's made us tougher. It's brought us together. It's united us, and that's all for the better.
While Breeze has developed a special relationship with his fans, the face of the franchise also has a special connection with his head coach. Sean Payton explains.
In the NFL, a quarterback can be a head coach's best friend or his worst enemy.
They can fly you safely to your destination, or they can take you right into a mountain if you're not careful.
Luckily for Sean Payton, the Saints have been flying high with Drew Brees. With Brees, the Saints have had the league's top-ranked offense 3 out of the last 4 years. This season, he set an NFL record by completing over 70% of his passes.
There's no way I could have fathomed that it would be anything like it is now.
And it almost didn't happen. Getting Brees to New Orleans back in 2006 was tougher for Payton than people may think. Even Brees admits he had his concerns about Payton.
Sean, a first-time head coach, and young and energetic, and a great offensive mind. But besides that, I had never heard of Sean Payton.
But they know each other now and share a special connection. Payton compares it to a teacher and his star pupil.
It's no different than reviewing 4 or 5 days in a row with your students what's going to be on the test, and really better preparing them to score well. It's the same thought as teaching.
And with Payton and Brees, the franchise has reached unprecedented heights, including tomorrow, when the Saints will host an NFC Championship game, something this building has never done, and something many thought after Katrina would never happen.
It's definitely a symbol of the city, and one that had things gone differently and it was no longer here or no longer occupied. I mean, that would be a travesty.
Fortunately for this city, a travesty that never came to be. With the Saints, I'm Sean Payton for Fox 8 Sports.
Sean, thanks. Kickoff set for 5:40 right here on Fox 8. The Saints are 4-point favorites. Jeremy Shockey is listed questionable on the official injury report, but he reportedly took part in today's walkthrough and is expected to play on Sunday. Shockey injured his right knee during his touchdown catch last week against Arizona. Fox 8, the undisputed home of your Saints. Join us Sunday as we cover the build-up to the biggest game in franchise history. Fox 8 Live Tailgate starts at 2. Should be a fun day tomorrow. The Saints are a win away from their first trip ever to the Super Bowl. They got to find a way to slow down Brett Favre.
All right. People are just so pumped up across the city tonight.
They really are, and you can expect that dome is going to be rocking tomorrow night. Should be a lot of fun.
And around the dome, it's already rocking tonight.
I've heard
the
there's
tailgating parties have started.
some tailgating out there.
Maybe we should head out there after the show, huh?
Yeah. That time.
We got a long day tomorrow, though. That is the news. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with The Big Thing, which you can actually find on iTunes now. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow for the Fox 8 Live Tailgate.
The Saints are getting ready for the big thing. blowout victory against the Arizona Cardinals, the Saints are now 1 win away from their first Super Bowl. Coming up on the Sean Payton Show, we're getting you ready for the showdown in the Dome between the top 2 seeds in the NFC, the Saints versus the Minnesota Vikings. Also ahead, Billy Miller joins us on set for a look at the matchup. And he's bringing a friend along with him, fan favorite Deuce McAllister.
Probably about 95% sure.
Plus, we'll take you behind the scenes as the crews in the Dome get all the food ready for fans. This is it, Saints fans, the countdown to the NFC title game. Which team will be marching to the Super Bowl? The Sean Payton Show starts right now.
Let's go!
Hey everyone, the Saints and Vikings are about to face off for the right to play in the Super Bowl. Coach is busy getting the team ready, so we've got Billy Miller here to help get you ready for the NFC Championship Showdown. Billy, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Man, I couldn't be more excited. Thank you very much for having me.
Definitely. All right, so the Saints have actually been here before. 3 years ago, championship game in Chicago. You being a veteran player, you actually played in that game. So what are some of the differences that you see from then to now?
Well, when I played in that game, I looked at a team that just really come together. It was our first time that we ever took the field in a playoff atmosphere together. And I'm not sure the maturity level of everybody on the field at that time. I mean, we had a young Reggie Bush, a young Jerry Evans. So I don't know if we were really prepared to play in a game at that magnitude. I also think that, hey, the simple fact is we're at home. We're really excited about that. We know our fans are going to be crazy and ruckus and behind us, and that's a big deal. And the other thing, it was freezing cold in Chicago. So we're out of that. We're in the Dome and ready to go.
Yeah, no snow this go around.
Exactly.
All right, you talked about home field advantage. When you look at last weekend's matchups, 3 out of those 4 winners had home field. So I think that's a real testament to how crucial that aspect of this game could be, especially when you're talking about big games, end of the season stuff.
Hey, and nobody does it better than Who Dat Nation, so I'm excited to see it.
Yes, indeed. All right, Billy's going to join us again later in the show for a one-on-one with Deuce McAllister and to break down some of the keys to the game. But first, we begin with the matchup that got the Saints here, the blowout win against the Cardinals.
Now, welcome back to the Louisiana Superdome. The idea was a blackout for this game, and boy, there is just a sea of black and blue. You wouldn't want to be any other place than right here, right now. Let's get the party started. He'll hand it off. Hightower running right side to the 40, 45, 50, midfield. They've done it again to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. And for the second week in a row, the Saints have been burned by a big run early. And just seconds into this game after a 70-yard touchdown, the Cardinals take a 6-0 lead.
Once again, the Saints are behind the 8 ball. You know, now you're going to put Drew Brees and company out there and see if they can respond.
One opportunity.
We just got to settle down right now and get back to playing our football.
19 seconds into it. So the Saints find themselves in an early hole. It's a Saint first down. Brees, who goes for the shotgun for the first time. That's a 7-yard reception. Saints first down. Here's the pitch up to Reggie Bush, running right side. Saints first down. To the 29-yard line. It's Marcus Colston to Reggie Bush. Nothing doing right side. Explodes back in the other direction. And a safe first down.
One shot, do not miss your chance to blow.
Brees pumps, throws. He's got Shackle. Hamilton right side, and he is in for the touchdown. Lionel Hamilton on a 1-yard touchdown dive with the extra point. The Saints will have answered and tied this at 7. Warner throws over the middle, completion up to the 40. Ball comes free. Saints are going to pick it up. This is Sharper bringing it back. Leaps over a tackler, breaks the tackle at the 40, and he's down to the 37-yard line. Brees stepping up, can't find anybody. Now he throws at the goal line, and it is caught for the touchdown. Here's a run left side. It's Reggie Bush breaking free. Bush to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Bye-bye birdies. He's in the end zone. 46-yard touchdown gallop by Reggie Bush. Here's Warner, and he is hit and dropped. Taken down by John Vilma. And there's a lot of gang tackling going on.
You got a lot of black jerseys around that guy. I tell you what, this Saints defense right now is swarming and aggressive and quick.
Breeze, pitch back, flea flick, Breeze loads and locks it and throws it downfield, and it is caught! Caught by Henderson for the touchdown! Warner steps up and throws it, and it is intercepted! Will Smith with his second interception of this season. The defensive end takes it down. Breeze looking to his left, throws, and it is going to be caught by Colston for a touchdown. Reggie Bush at the 18-yard line, running to his right now, cutting it upfield. He's got room. He's up to the 40, 45, midfield 50, running down the near sideline. Graham won't even contest him. Bye-bye birdies. Good for 83 yards. Red G, Red G, Red G.
Drop some hits, yeah, we got this year. We so hot this year. Black and gold got the Super Bowl spot this year.
Tell you what, you've got to be pretty impressed with the way the Saints came out today. It's all worked out perfect for the Sean Payton plan.
Hosting the biggest game in Saints history.
And the road to the Super Bowl continues to be through New Orleans.
Hey, yo, the Saints is going to win it. Go Super Bowl and let's kill it. We don't care what team or what city.
Reggie Bush had one of his best games as a pro in the playoff opener against the Cards, racking up 2 touchdowns. Time now for a little lanyap. Bush scored on an 83-yard punt return and a 46-yard run. He finished with 84 yards rushing, 24 yards receiving, and 109 yards on 3 punt returns. The Saints are now 1 win away from their first Super Bowl. The only thing standing in their way, the Minnesota Vikings, a team that hasn't been to the big game in 33 years. Both teams know what's at stake. Both teams have been prepping for this matchup all week.
We set goals every year.
Start the season really with the goal of getting into the postseason and winning your division.
To get to the NFC Championship.
To be the best and try to win a championship. Do you play the game for any other reason? That's why I'm here.
This is what I came back for. This is what this team expected. We expected to be in the playoffs.
I'm excited, you know, playing for the NFC Championship game.
The focus is February 7th, holding that trophy up in there.
It seems like every week this year, as we won and won and won, the atmosphere just got crazier and crazier, and I would expect nothing less.
You know, with the talent that we have offensively in all 3 phases, we feel like we can dominate any team we play.
We know we're capable of it.
Ultimately, the things that we need to do is stop the run early and get after far.
He's played very well and is playing as well as he has throughout his career. He's decisive. He knows where he wants to go with the football.
He has great sense of, you know, where the pressure's coming from and where guys are around him at all times.
He can maneuver. He gets away from sacks and still makes plays downfield.
He's got all the throws. He can make them all. He's got a rocket for him.
For a guy like that, the play's never over.
He's one of the best of all time.
So we have to stay after him and make sure when we get our hands on him to bring him down.
They're very balanced in the running game and the passing game.
The running back, Adrian Peterson.
He's fast, he's big, he runs over people.
We definitely have to do our job, because if you don't, man, he'll take advantage.
Sidney Rice is someone that's progressed and is having a great season.
They definitely got weapons everywhere. You know, we're going to need all 3 phases of this game to play well.
These guys have one of the best defensive fronts, if not the best in the league.
You know, they're physical, they have great speed.
They've really been able to get after the quarterback.
They have 10 Pro Bowlers on the team, and I think that's enough said at what type of team we're going to be facing.
They're going to be plays made, and you just got to eliminate the big plays.
We've got the best O-line in the league.
We're playing lights-out defense again.
Your stars need to show up and make plays and be a difference maker. It's a running back's job to set the tone for the game.
I still get nervous. That's what kind of keeps you on edge.
These are the type of games that you dream of when you're younger playing.
Our dome is going to be jumping. Our fans don't hold any punches, and it's going to be loud.
Secret, I'm a Saints fan.
Don't go anywhere. We're just getting started here on the Sean Payton Show. Coming up next, Billy Miller sits down with Deuce McAllister. Plus, the NFL Network gives us an exclusive preview of the game. It's all ahead.
The Sean Payton Show is brought to you by the Louisiana Lottery. Get in the game. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by PenskeTruckRental.com.
I always wanted to be a Saints Nation. They're such a big part of our city.
You know, it takes a village to raise a child, this is the village.
It's the Big Easy Funny.
None of this. Oh, is it too hot? Too cold? Who cares?
Hey, New Orleans, I'm back, y'all. Did you miss me? I missed you too, man.
If all we do is turn out a football player at the end of 4 years, we fail.
Working for family's hell, but we all pull together and do what we gotta do.
Take a look around. This is our house tonight, baby.
I know now what I didn't know then. New Orleans is a happy place, and people smile and engage each other.
But the truth is, it's not always the kids that get lost. Sometimes it's us, the grown-ups.
We've been through before. There's a big thing happening here in New Orleans, and it feels so good to know it's our time to win. And they ain't just marching, no, they're thundering in. 'Cause the Saints on Fox 8, yeah, the Saints are getting ready for the big thing. Yeah!
Hey, you're late.
But I brought friends.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello?
What's up?
What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
You got enough stuff?
Yeah.
Got it.
What else do you need?
Touchdown!
We cook and we work hard, and we're inspired by what's around us.
We play with passion, pride, and a whole lot of heart.
But when it's time to celebrate, kick back, and cut loose, nobody does it better. Nobody.
A beat of beer.
Purple Haze.
Turbo Dog.
Giacomo IPA.
We are the true colors.
The true colors.
The true colors of Louisiana.
I'm Blaine Kern, Mr. Mardi Gras.
And I'm Barry Kern, and this is our Rouse's.
It's not Mardi Gras without Rouse's King Cake. Rouse's bakes their king cake fresh every day.
Bake me something, mister.
I like the traditional king cake.
I like the flavor.
Traditional.
The flavors are better. We tell everybody, get all your parade stuff at Rouse's. They make everything from party trays, sandwiches, chips, anything you need. How about that fried chicken?
I always was a leg man.
There he is, Deuce McAllister, leading the team out onto the field before the playoff opener against the Cardinals. Just last weekend, the Saints re-signed McAllister, making him an honorary captain. Now, 1 week later, there's word of another change for the former all-time rusher. Welcome back, everyone. Deuce McAllister is retiring, or at least that's what's been reported. But will he hang up his cleats for good? Billy Miller caught up with him just a little bit ago in this exclusive one-on-one.
Deuce, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. I miss you, bro.
I miss being around, too. It's been different. It's been different.
I bet. Now, let's talk briefly about a situation I just heard of about this word retirement. Now, where are you at with that?
Probably about 95% sure that that's the direction I want to go in. You know, it's that uncertain 5%, you know, that itch that you get, that, I guess, that Brett Favre, that's in you, that's in every player.
We still got a chance then, because Brett Favre was like 99.8%, and he came back. So if you had 95, then we still got a shot.
Yeah, I'm probably more at 95, not the full 98.
Now, last week, man, it was awesome. Special for me to watch you lead the team out on the field, man. How was that experience for you?
I don't know if there's enough words that can truly describe it. You know, just the, I guess the gauntlet of emotions that you go through as an individual, being in that position, being able to lead, you know, guys that I work with, guys that I respect out on the field in an important game. I mean, because me and you both know how hard it is to get to the playoffs. That's special, you know, so just to have that moment, you know, you always remember it.
Deuce, being you were here with me in the 2006 season, we went to this NFC Championship game. What differences do you see from then to now with the players that you've played with for so long going into this game?
I think one of the biggest differences is just guys understand and know what it takes to get there. You know, one of the things, can't say back in '06 that we were just happy to be there, But I think that was kind of the perception that we had, that we were happy to be there and we didn't understand and realize how big of a moment it was. I hope guys understand and realize and not take this game, this championship game for granted, because, you may not get another opportunity at it.
You've been here a long time. What is your greatest moment as a Saint?
Probably the greatest moment, was just the reopening of the Dome. The Atlanta game after Hurricane Katrina, that'll rank right there at the highest of game. I don't think any type of emotion will exceed that moment.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be with us out here for this Vikings game, correct?
Correct. I'll be there, be an honorary captain again, and it's not up to me to call heads or tails. It's the visiting team. It's the visiting team choice, But if I have my first dibs, I'm an offensive guy, so we want the ball first. If we can get that, then I think we can start on the right step. But I'll be on the sidelines, just helping the running backs. Just seeing a little bit, telling them what I see, and just helping them with their game. And hopefully the biggest thing is just helping us get a W.
Well, if you ever do come back, I can't see in anything else but a Saints uniform. So make sure that we got first dibs on if that 5% ever jumps back in it.
Well, definitely so. I mean, this will always be home. This is where 2-6 always rocks. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you being here. It's great to have you back as a Saint, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
For this interview and much more, check us out on the web, theSeanPaytonShow.com. Thanks again.
Time now for some national perspective about the Saints-Vikings game. How do our boys in black and gold stack up against the purple and gold? Here's a preview from the NFL Network.
Thank you very much, Angelina, along with Charles Davis and Brian Billick. Brad Pitt was on the sideline of the last Saints game. Could this, Angelina, be...
If he wins the Super Bowl, he can have anybody he wants.
I'm sure. Well, but Sean's already Mr. Hollywood anyway. I mean, he gets all the stars coming out, certainly on this program. Drew Brees is his star quarterback for sure, Charles Davis. How do you think he's going to fare against the Minnesota Vikings this weekend?
Well, the number one thing is if he gets time, he's going to fare very well, because where the Vikings are trying to protect their secondary with their pass rush, if that pass rush doesn't get there, the way that they move the ball around, the number of receivers they have, trying to figure out what's going on with Antoine Winfield and where he's going to play, whether he's going to be an inside slot guy, play outside, the safety help, although the Vikings played very well against Dallas, Coach, very well. I still think if he gets time, he can do what he wants down there.
Well, and that's going to be the question, because the Vikings have the size inside to kind of nail down the running game. And you got Edwards and Allen coming on the outside. They remind me a little of the 2000 Super Bowl team I had. I had Saragusa and Adams in the middle, Peter Bulwer, Michael McCurry coming off the edge. Yeah, if they can protect Drew Brees, that's kind of a tall order.
Yeah, it certainly was too tall in order for the Cowboys to protect Tony Romo last week. But then, the Saints have a running game that the Cowboys weren't able to get off on that team. What do you think of Bush and Pierre Thomas to counter all that attacks at the offense?
I love them, but you've got to get the early season Saints run game back, because the run game we saw down the stretch wasn't anywhere resembling that. They fell off in that number. Because you remember early in the season, Coach, when that running game was going, there was no way you could stop New Orleans. But as that running game decreased as you went along, if Pierre Thomas is healthy, if Bush runs inside strong, then they've got a chance.
The Saints want to run the ball, but their commitment to it could be challenged with that Viking defense shutting off the inside.
Right.
6:40 Eastern Time, Saints and Vikings for the NFC Championship game. We're going to throw it back to you in the studio right now, because let's be honest, I feel very short out here. We need chairs next time we shoot something for Sean Payton.
Still ahead on the Sean Payton Show, Billy's back with some keys to the game. And we'll show you how crews at the Dome get all the food ready for hungry fans. That's next.
Hi, it's Coach Sean Payton of the New Orleans Saints. How would you like to ride with me in the Orpheus Parade? You can if you join the crew of Payton. Join me, Reggie Bush, Bobby Hebert, and a host of other celebrities for a thrill of a lifetime. We'll ride together in the Orpheus Parade, dance the night away at the Orpheus Ball, and you'll join the crew of Payton for our pregame party February 12th at the Mardi Gras World. With only 40 positions available on this float, call the number on your screen, 214-529-6681. Let's play it forward.
See you soon. They're coming. They're all coming. And they're bringing your mother.
What are we gonna do?
Inside Mouth, Tony Chachere's makes everything taste great. In only minutes, marinate your turkey on the inside with Tony Chachere's injectable marinade for that great buttery flavor. Then add a little spice to the outside with Tony Chachere's famous Creole seasoning. It's the perfect combination.
This must have taken you two all day.
It was easy.
With Tony Chachere's. Tony Chachere's.
Tony Chachere's makes everything taste great.
I always wanted to be a Saints Nation. They're such a big part of our city.
You know, it takes a village to raise a child. This is the village.
It's the Big Easy Funny.
None of this. Oh, is it too hot? Too cold? Who cares?
Hey, New Orleans, I'm back, y'all. Did you miss me? I missed you too, man.
If all we do is turn out a football player at the end of 4 years, we fail.
Working for families hell, but we all pull together and do what we got to do.
Take a look around. This is our house tonight, baby.
I know now what I didn't know then. New Orleans is a happy place, and people smile and engage each other. But the truth is, it's not always the kids that get lost. Sometimes it's us, the grown-ups.
This is the first time in franchise history the Saints are hosting the NFC Championship in the Dome. And of course, the Black and Gold are hoping this isn't the only history they'll be making. Let's turn it back over to Billy Miller for a quick look at some of the keys to the game.
Thanks, Angelina. This week we got a very tough task. We're playing a Minnesota Viking team that has 10 Pro Bowlers and some bona fide superstars. So for us, as the Saints, our keys to victory are very similar every single week. It just happens to be on a bigger stage this week. So let's roll right into the offense. On offense, what do we need to do? Protect number 9. We have to protect the quarterback. They have a tremendous defensive line. This defensive line is led by number 69, Jared Allen. Now, this is a tenacious defender who in the last 3 years has led the league in sacks. What we need to do is put a tight end on him, anybody that we can to make it disruptive for him so he can have a clear go at the quarterback. Now into the defense. Now this one, they've got to stop a guy and Adrian Peterson that has tore this league up the last couple of years. I mean, he's been the best running back in the league for quite some time now, and it shows week in and week out when he steps on the field. Now last, special teams. Now what do we need out of special teams? A little bit of the same that we had last week. We had Reggie Bush on a phenomenal play on the punt return, which was a great opportunity for our special teams to put points on the board and for Reggie to look like the USC Reggie Bush that we all have known and loved for a long time. Last thing I need, really from the fans, I need you guys to black out the stadium. Now in doing this, I got a special shirt. This shirt came up by the players, ourselves, to really exemplify what we're doing. Now this is our city, our home, and what we're trying to do, finish strong. All you gotta do is visit drewbrees.com. He'll let you know where you can pick it up. I wanna see everybody in these shirts. We wanna black out the dome. We want you loud and crazy, so pick it up. Angelina, I wanna see you in your shirt also. Back to you.
Thanks, Billy. Come game day, crews at the Dome will be ready to feed some 70,000 people. That's a lot of hungry fans. We went behind the scenes and found out it is no easy task prepping for the masses.
My name's Jeff Tanberg. I'm the general manager for Centerplate, and we're the food and beverage contractors here at the Superdome. We'll have a couple hundred people working in the kitchens, working in the warehouse, stocking our stands, making sure we're all set and ready. Game days, we're gonna have 1,400 people working here. And feeding 65 to 70,000 people in a 4 or 5 hour window takes a lot of bodies to do that. If we've done our homework right and we know our numbers, we're gonna go through anywhere from 8 to 10,000 hot dogs a game, 6,600 bags of popcorn, 400 kegs of beer. Kevin, how many pallets of beer do we bring in for a game?
About 85 to 100 pallets per game.
This is our executive chef, Lenny Martinson. How you all doing? Yep. This is our catering kitchen. We feed everybody from employee meals to the cheerleaders, to the TV crew, to the players. And it always changes every game. It's really about a 4-day prep time that we get in. This is crunch time to us. This is our game here. The biggest success for us here is preparation. Do everything today, you know, that you can do so you don't have to worry about it tomorrow. It's not fast food. And I really believe that. It's good food fast. And there's a big difference there. It's paying attention to the details. You know, the timing is critical. We have to make sure that we leave here on time. It takes 2 hours to deliver all the food to all these suites. This is not about hamburgers and hot dogs. This is about great food coming out here. These guys are heading down the home stretch right now. We probably got a good 2 hours of cold prep here. This is my sous chef, Terry. She runs this kitchen. These are my kitchen leads. Deer in the headlights, been there, done that. All calm before the storm.
Up next on the Sean Payton Show, we'll give you a little something extra to get you charged up for the Saints game against the Vikings. That's coming up.
The Sean Payton Show is brought to you by the Louisiana Lottery. Get in the game. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by PenskeTruckRental.com.
We've been through before. There's a big thing happening here in New Orleans, and it feels so good to know it's our time to win. And the
Hey, you're late.
But I brought friends.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
You got enough stuff?
Yeah. Got it. What else do you need?
Touchdown! All right, Saints fans, the countdown to the championship is on. The winner of this game will be booking their ticket to Miami. Now make sure to rock the dome to show Coach and the team just how much we love them. Right now, we leave you the little something to get you in the championship mood. And we'll see you next week.
The NFC Championship game. What a matchup. Breeze versus Favre, Bush versus Peterson. They will have balance on offense, be able to put up points, and make Brett Favre come from behind.
Winning is not a sometime thing. It's an all-the-time thing.
This secondary, they got Jabari Greer back and Tracy Porter, and we know all about Darren Sharper.
You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time.
We questioned, would this offense be rusted? You heard the head coach say so much for rust. You know it got to the whole team, and they wanted to show everybody rust does not live here.
Maybe they're peaking again.
They look like it again.
Winning is a habit. Every time a football player goes to ply his trade, he's got to play from the ground up, from the soles of his feet right up to his head. Every inch of him has to play. You've got to play with your heart, with every fiber of your body. I firmly believe that any man's finest hour, his greatest fulfillment to all he holds dear, is the moment when he has to work his heart out in a good cause and is exhausted on the field of battle, victorious.
This is the 2009 version of the greatest show on turf.
Pay attention. Make sure you can hear me. Listen up. You get ready to go, all right? And we're not letting up none. Let's go whoop their ass. This is our house tonight. We're going to be special. We're going to spell great. We're going to finish strong. Up the top. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Breeze from the shotgun, under pressure, looks deep, into the end zone, touchdown! Breeze throwing it to his fullback, Evans. And he's in! Smith hits him from behind, ball's loose in the end zone. They got it!
These bastards don't leave until we're done with them.
Say bye-bye, Courtney Roby. Hey, Coach, we did it for you.
This team needs to get that magic back where they're putting up 40 points a game and looking like a team that's unbeatable.
News tonight, the celebration is well underway for tomorrow's NFC Championship game between the Saints and the Minnesota Vikings. In the CBD, fans are already tailgating. Some were at it more than 24 hours before the kickoff. Scott Satchfield reports.
They drove in from Lafourche Parish Friday, and they're glad they did.
Look, we had to fight to get our spot this time, so it's awesome.
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was full. 12 noon yesterday, full.
Like to go Super Bowl.
It's been a party ever since. Tonight, these tailgaters are whipping up a batch of cracklins and imagining a Saints win in Sunday's NFC Championship game.
It's better than Mardi Gras, it's better than Christmas, it's better than Santa Claus, it's better than Thanksgiving, it's the best, baby. Woo!
It's amazing. Being here is amazing. I mean, Mardi Gras is close to the excitement, but just the feeling of everybody, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
They're not alone. Tailgaters are already out in big numbers across the CBD on the eve of what could become the Saints' first conference championship and Super Bowl berth. Some are dancing,
while others busily prepare their game day dishes. The celebration could continue well into the night. But beyond the screaming and cheering, some Saints fans are reflecting on years of football frustration and, more importantly, the challenges that have gripped Southeast Louisiana since late August 2005. Fans say they're well aware of the far-reaching impact of this moment.
Just about family and spirit and just everybody just pulling together. And I think this is a wonderful thing for the economy and the community and just everything in general.
People are just starting to get their lives back together. Everybody's having a hard time. The Saints had a hard time. You know what? This is victory year.
And plenty of fans truly believe tomorrow night the Saints will make it official, Super Bowl bound.
We here every week, win or lose. And when they win tomorrow, it's just gonna be outrageous. And come on and have a party with us out here on South Rampart and Girard. Out here, come have a party.
Who that? It's gonna be just like the whole city won the Powerball.
Scott Satchfield, Eyewitness News, Night Watch.
And we
one on NOLA 38.
Good Sunday morning. I'm Michael Hill. Welcome to the broadcast. This morning we're talking Saints football. Joining us now, our very own sports producer and a sports anchor as well, Mr. Damon Darensburg, to talk about the big game tonight, the Saints versus the Vikings. We should tell people we're both longtime Vikings fans.
Yes,
long-suffering, long time, but I'm pulling for the Saints this game personally.
Well, you have to pull for the Saints, and I won't go into the whole thing as to what makes me a Vikings fan. We would be here for 9 minutes with me telling the story as to why I'm a Vikings fan. But for me, the Minnesota Vikings are like the wife, and the Saints are like the girlfriend. You know, it's like, well, I'm not condoning any of that.
Where's this going?
I'm not condoning any of that, but you know, it's hard for me to, you know, pull against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, if the Vikings lose, I'll be number one to say, hey, Saints do a great job.
Exactly.
But I grew up a Vikings fan, and it's really hard for me to just look the other direction when they're playing against. It doesn't matter who they're playing against, whether it's the Saints or anyone.
It certainly is. Especially, it's hard to root against Brett Favre as well. 40 years old, having the year of his career. What, 19 years in the league?
Yeah, and this is the funny thing about this. I remember saying as a Vikings fan when this was first coming out, and they were going through the whole thing of, oh, we're about to get Brett Favre. I'm like, I don't want Brett Favre here. He's been a problem. You know, he's a headache. He's injury prone. Great quarterback, but you know, you're starting to see this guy. From what I thought, particularly with the Jets, his career started to go a little bit downhill. But he comes into a situation where he has a great running back, receivers who he's quickly gelled with, a decent defense, and it's been a perfect situation for him. Best year of his career. 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 68% completion percentage, over 4,000 yards. I mean, just a great season for Brett Favre.
Okay, let's talk about tonight's game. The Saints are going up against this 40-year-old quarterback who's having the year of his career, as we say it. And you mentioned all the touchdowns. What can the Saints expect this evening against this Minnesota Vikings team? And how do they stop the Vikings?
Well, one thing that I heard a lot of people say, particularly after the Cardinals game, was that, oh, Brett Favre, you know, is just like Kurt Warner. You hit him a couple of times and he gets rattled. Well, that's not the case with Brett Favre. No. I mean, you're shaking your head. That's not the case with Brett Favre. You hit Brett Favre a couple of times. If you don't hurt him, he's coming back.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing about him. He's tough. He's resilient. He's seen everything. I think the way that the Saints can stop Minnesota is they have to shut down Adrian Peterson, and they have to get that pressure on Brett Favre. I've said this a million times. I'm rooting for the Minnesota Vikings, but I think the Saints have a better team. I really think the Saints win this game strictly on their talent. I think overall they have more talent than the Minnesota Vikings, and playing in a dome with that ridiculous crowd. You know, and I say ridiculous in a good way because, you know, I've been there for many games and the crowd just gets so boisterous. I think they have more talent than the Minnesota Vikings, and I think if they can slow down Adrian Peterson, get pressure on Brett Favre, they win the game.
Now, what about for the Saints in protecting Drew Brees? Because some people are saying that the Saints may have the best offensive line in the league, given the games they played so far and the protection Drew Brees has had throughout the season. But this is a different defense they're going to face. The Vikings have, what, the most sacks during the regular season?
Most sacks.
Sacked Romo, what, 6 times last week?
Right.
So the Saints haven't seen anything like this.
Well, I think they did in the Dallas game. I think DeMarcus Ware, he's a bigger, stronger version of Jared Allen. And I think if the Saints do the correct thing of, you know, sliding their protections and making sure Drew Brees is protected, they'll be fine. The thing about the Minnesota Vikings is, and I know these because being my favorite team, I pay so much attention to them, when they blitz, they have a habit of blitzing the house. And their secondary is not as good as the Saints secondary. Their cornerbacks, Vantuan Winfield and Cedric Griffin, are not as good as a healthy Tracy Porter and a healthy Jabari Greer. So what Minnesota has a habit of doing is when they blitz the house a lot. And they leave their cornerbacks on the island, and they get burned. And it happens time and time again. Now, in the Dallas game, what they did was they did a great job of hiding their blitzes. I hadn't seen them do that all season. They did a great job of disguising their blitzes. If they can do that against the Saints, they may get some pressure on Breeze, but they hadn't been doing it all season, so maybe they figure something out.
Kind of the reason the Saints are where they are this year in this season, 2009-2010 season, is Greg Williams coming on staff during the offseason and putting together this kind of defense. Will the Saints have been tested at all this season, this defense, the way it will against Minnesota?
I don't think so. I think the experience that Minnesota has at quarterback with Brett Favre, I mean, he's been in the league, like you say, 19, 20 years. He's seen so many things. So I think the things that Greg Williams brought against, Mark Sanchez and Matthew Stafford and Kevin Cole with Philadelphia, these guys, they were making their first starts. They didn't see the things that Greg Williams, and he was able to do a number of different things to confuse them. I think with someone like Brett Favre, which is why I said that pressure is so important. He's seen these different blitzes, these disguise packages, the zone dogs, the stunts, all these things that the Saints will try to do to get him off, to rattle him a little bit. He's seen all of that. So the best thing to do is you have to make sure, I said this before, I said Brett Favre and Drew Brees are, top 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks in the league, but I think the talent surrounding Drew Brees is a little bit better than the talent surrounding Brett Favre. So if you can exploit that lack of talent that Minnesota, and when I say lack of talent, I mean they don't have any. It doesn't match up with the Saints. If you can exploit that, then it makes it hard for Brett Favre and the Vikings.
Should the Saints expect Adrian Peterson to have a breakout game? Because isn't it really about time for him to have one? He hasn't had one in a while.
I don't know if it's about him having a breakout game so much as it is about them just controlling him. I mean, no, he hasn't had a breakout game, and you've seen teams run against the Saints the last couple of weeks. Tim Hightower with the big run in the Cardinals game. I don't know so much about him having a breakout game. I think if they allow him to have 5 yards a pop and he doesn't have to reach 100, if he's just getting first downs and the Saints, and Minnesota's having 2nd and 3s or 3rd and 2s, if they're having short distances to go to get that first down, I think that's where it becomes a problem for the Saints.
They pretty much held Adrian Peterson in check last year when they played him in the Dome, but this is a different Minnesota team.
Well, different quarterback. I mean, last year they had Gus Frerotte leading the team, and they still won that game, holding Adrian Peterson in check. But this time they have Brett Favre, who is a much better quarterback than Gus Frerotte. So like I said, I don't think it's so much as holding him in check or not letting him explode for a big game, but just making sure when you do stop him, okay, now it's 2nd and 12 instead of 2nd and 4. Just try and get some losses, and that way you can dictate that they're now passing on 2nd down instead of, on 2nd and 3 and 4. You have to guess now what they're going to do.
I know that you were nervous in the Arizona game, and I was too, to see Hightower running down the field the first play from scrimmage. Will the Vikings try the same thing?
I don't know. I really do think that in the last game against the New York Giants, Minnesota, they kind of got away. Adrian Peterson only ran 9 times for like 50-something yards, and they put the ball in Brett Favre's hand and said, hey, go out and win this game. And he did it. Sidney Rice, their wide receiver, he has had a breakout Pro Bowl season, 83 catches for over 1,300 yards. He and Brett Favre has built the chemistry that's, unimaginable. I actually thought it was time to get rid of Rice before Favre came in. So he's built the connection with all of his receivers. Peterson, he had 43 catches, career receiving game season for him. So Favre has actually made everyone around him better. So when they put the ball in his hands like they did in the Giants game before the playoffs, he's made it happen. But again, that was at home. They're on the road this time.
They certainly are. Damon Darensburg, stay still where you are. We're going to come back and talk about home field advantage here and what it means to be playing in the Superdome, an NFC Championship game. We're talking Saints, Vikings, and football here on the 411. We'll be right back.
Watching the 411 on NOLA 38.
Welcome back to the broadcast this morning. Once again, Damon Darensburg, our sports producer and news producer as well, and sports anchor, talking about the Saints and the Vikings coming up this evening. We're talking about football because this is an important issue here in the New Orleans region, Gulf Coast as well, because the Saints mean so much to so many people here and, of course, to the economy as well. Let's get back to our game here. Saints obviously have the home field advantage. The Vikings are used to playing in the Metrodome. Very loud there, but not as loud as the Superdome.
No, and I've been to the games in the Metrodome, and it's really loud. But the difference is when they come here, when they play against the Saints, the crowd's cheering for the Saints. Right. They're not cheering for Minnesota. So it's like now Minnesota's on the opposite end. They have to deal with the crowd noise. I'm telling you, the Metrodome gets loud. Not as loud as the Superdome, but really loud. You'll leave there with a headache. But the team's cheering for you in the Metrodome. They're not going to be cheering for the Vikings tonight.
Is it really an advantage, though, to be playing in the Dome?
Well, I tell you what, it seemed like it affects the offense more. Minnesota's offense, and they'll work on the silent count and all that kind of stuff. But, I can imagine, like, if I came to your house, I'm not going to feel comfortable to come to your house and take my shoes off and just go in your refrigerator.
Right.
I feel comfortable doing that at my house. Now, I may want to come to Michael Hill's house and take my shoes off, but, it's just that comfort that comfort of being home and knowing that the fans are there cheering for you and pulling for you. And you've seen many times in the Cardinals game, we talked about this on that second drive where Randall Gage strips Jeremy Urban of the pass. They feed off that energy, and next thing you know, it's not just 7-7, it's 35-14 going into halftime. Right. So yeah, you feed off the energy of the crowd. The players will tell you it really doesn't make a difference, but you can see and you can feel that it does make a difference.
In this particular game, NFC Championship game, the Saints have a chance to go to the Super Bowl for the first time. Vikings have been there before. They've lost 4 times. Favre has been there twice already. Won one, lost one. For a lot of Saints fans here, though, this has been an absolutely miraculous season. It really has been. Right. But is it still a miracle season if you don't win the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I think you can compare it to, and I say this all the time. I mean, I've been to different parts of the country, covering the Saints, and then I, interact with the different fans in the different markets. And there is no city in America that loves its football team and connects with its football team emotionally like Saints fans do with the Saints. And I would say maybe Green Bay. Right. Maybe Green Bay, the fans there are just as, intertwined in that football community as the fans are here. But, living here and being from here, nothing and no one connects like the New Orleans fans do connect with the Saints. But I do compare it to the Patriots that year they went 18-0 right. and they get to the Super Bowl and they lose to the Giants. Yeah, it's a miraculous season. Yeah, we won 13. Yeah, we made, we got the NFC Championship first seed for, first round bye for the first time in team history. But you played, as Herman Edwards said, you play to win the game. So just getting there, right. It's not the same thing. You want to get there and you want to win, and you want to be able to say that you brought the Lombardi Trophy back to right. New Orleans. Second place, you're the first loser, in my opinion. So, I think the fans, yeah, they would be excited. I mean, if this team went 8-8, they'll sell out again next year. But to go 13-3, the fans want to see that Lombardi Trophy come back here, and that'll be a wonderful thing if it does, even though I want Minnesota to. I'm sure you do. The winner of the Vikings and the Saints play the winner of the Jets and the Colts. Mm-hmm. The Colts had an opportunity to knock the Jets completely out of the playoffs in the second half to put the starters on the sideline. Peyton Manning wasn't happy about it, can't blame him. They were heading toward a perfect season. No doubt they would have beaten the Jets that game. Irony now, here come the Jets, and you got to get past the Jets to get into the Super Bowl. I think it's irony if they lose. I think we can both look at, the Colts, they decide to rest their stars, the Saints decide to rest their stars, and both teams, in my opinion, look extremely fresh going into their first playoff games. So yeah, if they lose to the Jets, then you can easily say, oh, well, look at the irony, you probably should have knocked them out of the playoffs. But in my opinion, I don't think the Jets have enough. Like you said, the Colts probably would have won that game. I don't think the Jets have enough to hang with them. Sanchez is having a decent run throughout the playoffs. Right. But without that monster defense that the Jets bring to the table, I think they just don't have enough offensively to keep up with the Colts, kind of like they did when they played against the Saints. The defense played well for a number of minutes, but eventually Peyton, Drew Brees, whatever quarterback you're facing, if Sanchez is not driving the team down the field, eventually whatever quarterback you're facing, quarterback's very good, like Peyton and Drew, they're going to eventually put some points on the board, and you need your offense to put points on the board, and I just don't think the Jets can do it. Not a situation like the Giants and the Patriots in Super Bowl 42, where the Giants kind of held them at bay. Well, on any given Sunday, any team can pull out the victory. I'm just, with what we've seen all year from the Jets and what we've seen all year from the Colts and what we've seen all year from Mark Sanchez and what we've seen all year from Peyton Manning, I just think the Colts have a better team and a better chance of moving on to the Super Bowl. I just don't think the Jets have it.
So when we talk about these two games on Sunday, there's a lot at stake because a lot of these folks are, if not from this area, they're certainly playing on the New Orleans Saints. Manning's from here. Favre, for all practical purposes, is from here. Right. So you got a lot of folks here with some allegiances now that they really have to question at this point.
Yeah, but I think the Black and Gold Nation doesn't care. I think they're pulling for the Saints. They don't care if Brett Favre's mama was born in the Cafe Du Monde. I mean, they want the Saints to win this game, and they don't care about all those affiliations and connections. The Black and Gold Nation is pulling for the Saints, and rightfully so. I mean, they have a great chance to move on and bring the city its first championship. But like I said, getting there won't be enough. I think you got to get there, and if you're a Saints fan, you want them to win.
Quick note, Brett Favre, terrific season, as you said, the best of his career so far. Is he coming back next year?
We were talking about this actually before we came out here. I think that if a coach, and I think if the Vikings win the Super Bowl, the coach may actually do this. If they tell Brett Favre, hey man, look, we'll have you back next year and you don't have to come to training camp. Show up a week before the preseason starts. I think he'd come back. I think that's the thing with Brett Favre. He wants to play, but he doesn't want to come to training camp.
Damon Darensburg, our sports producer, news producer, and sports anchor. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Great. And we will be right back on this broadcast. For 41 years, he's been the public address announcer for the New Orleans Saints, Mr. Jerry Romig. Jerry, always good to see you.
Hey, thank you.
Does it seem like 41 years?
Some days. Some days it does.
Some seasons too, huh?
Some seasons, yeah.
But this has been a terrific season,
I'll
hasn't
tell
it?
you, we've the last 10 years have been fun. This year has been just incredible. Just great.
Is it just the winning that makes it incredible, do you think?
It helps. Yeah. But it's the way Payton has brought everybody together with this team. And of course, and the way Drew Brees has been the kind of leader you want at the quarterback position. It has, and the way they've won so many games big. They've had a few that were close.
Right.
But it's been one of those seasons where everybody left the place smiling.
Exactly.
God, I can't wait for the next one. And the next one was a good one, and the next one was a good one. 13 straight.
Jerry, 41 years in the broadcast booth here for the Saints. Is this the best Saints team you've seen on the field in the seasons,
yes.
42 seasons?
Yes, by far, yes.
On both sides of the ball?
Yes, very definitely. Defense is so much better than many of the years that I've watched them. This defensive group is together. Right. They really are. The defensive backs playing well. We've had some bad injuries in the defensive backfield, but they're all back now, right. Healthy and playing well. But this is a good football team. And best quarterback, Drew Brees by far. I'm sure Archie was fantastic, but Archie didn't have this team.
Exactly.
But it's a fine team. It's a good team. They're playing together.
You have been in the broadcast booth, as we said here, for 41 years as the Saints announcer, but this is the first time you're calling there an NFC championship game.
That's right.
At home.
That's right.
That's special.
Oh, yes. And special to be playing at home where we play well. Special that we win, we go on to Miami. And whoa, what better chance? What greater thing could have happened to us this year than that?
Did you ever think that you would see an NFC championship game in the Dome, that you would call it? Did you think it would happen before now?
Yeah, I thought it would happen the year we came, literally the year we came back from Katrina.
Right. Yeah.
But it's Payton, Coach Payton's done a hell of a job, really has, and he's put it together. Like I say, he's got a team, offense, defense, special teams. And the more you know these guys, the more you like them. The more you meet players, team players. We've had the chance to get to know a few of them very well, and it's a real pleasure.
It seems this town has really embraced Drew Brees and vice versa.
They've embraced the Saints. Of course, they've embraced the Saints since day one.
Exactly.
Which is one of the great stories, I think, about our team. How the people in this city have stayed with this team come hella high water.
And you know, Jerry, I've been here 5.5 years, and that's one of the things I've always found remarkable about this. When I was growing up, I had a buddy of mine in the neighborhood in New Jersey who was a Saints fan. And we used to laugh at him all the time because the team was so bad. And in coming here and living here and working here, I am determined that, and I believe this truly, that there is no more loyal a fan in sport, period, than a New Orleans Saints fan.